Okay, moving on to an actual example now. So the first step we're going to do is remove this third term, this 7. I'm just going to move him all the way over here. He's still a part of the equation, but he's just going to kind of live over here for the time being. Now, we want to try and recognize that this right here is kind of like the form we just saw above. So we have an a squared x squared plus 2abx plus b squared. The only issue is we don't know what b squared would be. Like if it was up here, it would be plus b squared. But we don't know what b squared is. So that's what we have to find out. So what is going to be our a squared? What's the equivalent here? Well, it's just 1. There's just an invisible 1 coefficient here. Well, what's going to be our 2ab? Well, in this case, it's just 3. 3 is 2ab. And what is b? Well, we have to kind of solve for that. So if we know 2ab is equal to 3, we can see that here, right? And we know that a, or a squared, is equal to 1, but if we take the square root on both sides, it's just 1. A is equal to 1. So if we replace it here, a is equal to 1, we have our 2, and we have our b is all equal to 3. How can we solve for b? Well, we could just do 3 divided by 2. I'm just dividing by 2 on either side. And this will give us our b value. Well, we actually need b squared, right? So we'll just take this value, 3 over 2, and square it. And we get 9 over 4, because when we square a fraction, it'll just go to 3 squared over 2 squared, right? Perfect. Okay. So we know what our b squared value is. So let me rewrite this a little bit. That 7 is still going to kind of hang out over here for the time being, but now we know what our b squared is. So we can replace it. I'm going to rewrite the whole equation. So we have x squared plus 3x. Now I'm going to add our b squared. So I'm going to go plus 9 over 4. And I'm going to add our 7 way over here. But we can't just add this out of the blue. That wrecks math. Math doesn't allow that, you know? But we're allowed to add 0 to an equation. We're allowed to do that. So if I'm adding 9 over 4, I have to also subtract 9 over 4. So I'm going to subtract 9 over 4 to the 7 here. Now, this side of the equation lines up pretty nicely with our example up here. We could just rewrite it as this, right? So let's do it. So we can say all of this is equal to just x plus 3 over 2, or just ax plus b. Remember, our b is 3 over 2. We have to square all of that. And we still have to add our 7 minus 9 over 4. Well, we can just find a common denominator. If I do 4 times 7 is 28, I'm going to copy the question down here. Plus 28 over 4 minus 9 over 4. This is equal to x plus 3 over 2 squared plus 19 over 4. And this would be your final answer. Now, how does this relate to the vertex? Well, this value here is going to be your y your y-coordinate of your vertex, and we have to set the inside of this bracket here equal to 0 to find the x value. So if we have x plus 3 over 2 equals 0, I can minus 3 over 2 on both sides, and we end up with x equaling negative 3 over 2, or negative 1.5. So our vertex would be negative 1.5, and 19 over 4 is just 4.75.